every single year there's a new iPhone. And now there's an iPhone 15 Pro Max. And every single year, there's so many things you have to think about when you upgrade or change your phone. What kind of case are you going to get? Do I need any accessories? How light is it going to be? It's going to fit well in my pocket. So what I want to help you with today is to explain what you get if you're looking at getting the Apple iPhone Pro Max cases. Because Apple has made some changes to their case design. And this is probably the first time we can say in a long time they've made real changes. So these are two of the cases that Apple is coming out with. So first, we're going to talk about the iPhone 15 Pro Max fine woven case, and then we're going to talk about the iPhone 15 Pro Max clear case. The fine woven case is their new case to replace their silicone cases. And I'll give you an example. This is my iPhone 8 Plus, and you can see this is the old silicone case design. So this is the fine woven case. And the beauty of the fine woven case is that it's kind of like Alcantara. If you ever sat in a Tesla and they had that fabric-like suede that they cover their interiors with that's not plastic or leather, that's Alcantara. You start seeing this in some of the more premium vehicles out there. Now, I'm not saying this is exactly like Alcantara, but it has a similar profile where it's kind of like a soft touch. It has a texture like suede. It's still going to be relatively protective, but because of this Alcantara and that kind of soft-like texture, it gives it a little bit more grip. So that makes it a little bit more grippy than if they just use a regular profile or a regular simple material like a polyurethane here. But this is to mimic suede leather. Now, with that said, I would say it's not just like that. It's a hybrid. So if you've ever tried a Prada nylon bag or just, ever soft nylon, even like an anorak or really soft nylon umbrella, it has similar properties to that as well. And what does that do? That actually makes this incredibly soft, but yet has enough texture that it doesn't just slide out of your hand. And I think that's what Apple was going for. Another thing that's cool about it is that there's that camera bump. If you guys see, there is the camera bump. But the camera bump was done well, as well as the buttons. The buttons were done well in terms of the layout. So they're all clear and easy to find. I don't see any kind of like bumper guards here or air cushions. The inside is also going to be in the fine woven material, so it's soft, but not on the edges. Not on the edges. Soft in the hand, right? Soft in the hand, still like semi-grippy, right? It's an okay grip. Not the grippiest, but it's not like slip sliding off my fingers, right? It's not slip sliding off my fingers. Drop protection here. The corners are stiff, right? I don't feel any air cushion or bumpers here. So I'm not going to say you can drop this from 10 feet and this has some military grade protection. This is the fine woven case. You can see that you can scratch it up if you so choose. If you have keys, you will scratch it up. Don't place this near scissors. Don't place this near your cat. Your cat will claw it up. It will have a memory of how it lived. That's the point of having something like suede-like. It has a memory of what it's experienced. This is a finger massager, right? This is a finger massager. You just put your finger in. It has silicone. These are silicone tips, right? Those are silicone tips. Nothing sharp here. Now, if I roll this on my screen, I still leave marks. This is silicone. This is like what spatulas are made out of. If I roll this on my, look at what happened. Look. I just made that, right? I just rubbed it and I'm dusting it off just so everyone knows, like, you're like, oh, well, I could just wipe it off and it's going to be all like new, right? So I'm wiping it off, anything, we're just wiping it. Is it just like new, guys? Is it just like new? Is it just like new? No. And that's my point. It will always have a history of what it's experienced. You can make scratches on it. So if you put this in your pants and you got keys, or you put this with a lot of things that are sharp, you're going to start cutting or damaging the fabric. So this is something that if your cat is always clawing at your phone case, he's going to damage this. So keep that in mind. You can it's been about like 20 minutes since I made the original scratches and they don't come out. So they kind of stay there. So this is always going to show, at least like suede, very similar to suede, it's always going to keep a memory of what happened to it before. So if you're not good at, keeping your phone clean and you don't like to scratch it up, this might be a little bit, it's going to remember anything you did to it. But overall, I like the new look. I like the design of it. It feels good in the hand and it's definitely premium. It feels expensive. And I think that's what Apple was going for. So this is the Apple iPhone 15 Pro Max case. You're going to see on the Apple case, it's going to just clearly say designed by Apple. This is a polyurethane hybrid material now, I believe, and it is going to be not as rigid. So it's not this like kind of stiff, thick piece of plastic that they were using on the 15 or the 13. It still comes with this wide open bumper design. So it's still wide open. There's no like real lip on the bottom. In terms of fingerprints, the Apple is not a fingerprint magnet. You can see I'm putting a lot of fingerprints on mine, but not a real fingerprint magnet here. The material, it has a crystal clear color, but a very mild bluish hue. There's nothing really here that says Apple except on the MagSafe magnet. There's no bumpers. So really honest, this is a simple case. Even the buttons are not that raised. So they're not that raised. They don't have that new design to have even thicker button bottoms. And they're not as protruding, so you have to kind of look for them. Now, how does it look in with your phone? It's really going to be, the reason why you get this Apple case is that you are not a big case person, but you don't drop your phone that much. So you don't need like ultra, 5X military grade and all of the other stuff like super drop bumpers that you could drop from like 50 feet. There's a lot of stuff that's come out for phone cases. If you're looking for something very gentle and you're gentle with your phone and you want the slimmest of the slim, well, the Apple iPhone clear case does make some sense, right? It's 33 grams, so it's extremely light. So even in terms of overall weight, it doesn't add a lot of heft. It's not that textured though. So the material here is not as grippy as you might get on a case from like OtterBox or even from Spigen or some of the other manufacturers. So it's gonna slip and slide out of your hand, especially if your hand is wet. So they're not gonna be as big. They don't protrude as much. The buttons are pretty subtle here. In terms of the camera bump, you can see that it is slightly raised. You might want to put a camera protector, lens protector there, or a camera lens protector. The lips are not that raised, so if you have some type of screen protector on here, I would imagine that it would almost be like the same height. I imagine it would be almost the same height. Overall, it doesn't add that much weight here. These weigh, I think, about 33 grams, but it's just a really simple polycarbonate case, right? This is not going to change the world, but Apple did upgrade the material. It's a little bit softer, at least, than the last year's case, because we have last year's case, and that was a lot more rigid to pop inside into your Apple iPhone 14 Pro Max. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. That was our review. Hit that like and subscribe button below because it really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time. Stay with the French Glow, signing off. Bye, bye, bye.